Hey there guys, I would just like to share with you my high availability Pi-hole setup. So I've got two Raspberry Pis that I've added now to the cluster, although they're not part of the Kubernetes cluster. They're running independently, but they are on that same private network that the Kubernetes network is on. So I previously had one Pi-hole, which was acting as my DNS, DHCP server and gateway to the internet. But that's a single point of failure, and if that Pi went down, which sometimes they do, the SD cards get corrupted and so on, then I would be without internet. So I wanted a high availability kind of setup, or if the Ethernet cable got unplugged, for example. So what you'll see now on the screen here is I have two Pi-holes here set up. I'm logged into both of them. So one is on the 192.168.100.181 and the other is on 192.168.100.182. But both of these are sharing a virtual IP. So let me just open this up and you'll see what's going on here. So I'm using something called Keepalived, and that is basically creates a virtual IP that's shared by two or multiple other devices, and if one of those goes down, then the other one can kick in. So you'll see here at the moment, this one, which is our Pi network server 01, is in the master state, and this one here is in the backup state. And I'm pinging out here to Google, and I'm pinging out to .81. So what is .81? Well, .81 is our virtual IP that Keepalived is using. So if we go to IPA, we should see on our Ethernet link here, we've got the .81 and the 181 address. So you see here is .81. And here is the .181. So it's got its actual physical address on the NIC, and it's also got this virtual IP address which has been assigned to it by Keepalived. Over on our second unit here, if we go IPA, you'll see that at the moment we only have the 182 address showing up, because at the moment that virtual LAN has not been assigned to this device, because this is the secondary device and the primary is up. So the 182 address is the only thing that's assigned here. Now what will happen if I pull the Ethernet on my primary network server, which I'm going to do in a moment, you'll see the pings will time out for a short time as it switches over. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and do that. I'll pull the Ethernet out on my primary unit. So you'll see now the pings are timing out and now it's back. So what's happened here, if we go to IPA on here now, we should see that we now have the .81 address is now on our 182 unit. Okay. And if we go to the Keepalived, you'll see this has entered the master state. Now if I plug the Ethernet back in, it's going to switch back over, and you'll see, it'll time out for a few moments as it switches. Now you'll see that it's entered back into the backup state, and this unit has gone from backup state back to master state. So that's how we've got high availability of my DHCP and DNS through Pi-hole. It's running two Pis set up like this. Now there's some great tutorials out there on the internet that kind of detail how to set this up, but I'm not going to kind of go over old ground. So I would recommend you go and look at this video here, the ultimate Pi-hole setup. I'll put a link to it in the video below, which is pretty useful. And this kind of takes you through most of the setup. Now I had a few little problems along the way. but nothing that was too difficult to figure out. And it also introduced me to something called docg, which is what I'm using to deploy the container. So there's another thing that we've got going on here, which is Nebula Sync. And basically what this does is it syncs the primary instance of our Pi-hole over here. So at the moment, if we take a look over here and we go to, let's say to our local DNS records, okay? So we've got this one here, Prometheus Home 10.5.5.15. Let's add a new record. Let's say we'll make grafana.cluster and the associated IP will be 10.5.5.60, for example. So we've added that here. Now, if we go over to our second instance here, you're going to see that that DNS record is not present, okay? But we want to keep these things in sync. So this will actually sync once an hour, but I can force it to sync right now. So we can just go to restart and it will do a sync. And now if we refresh in here, our local DNS records, you'll see that the new record that we just added on the other node is now showing up. Now again, if I delete it from here, it's still going to be over here until the next sync. And again, I can force a sync by going to restart. And just like that, they're now synced up. So this is really useful for keeping the two configurations in sync. So that's called Nebula Sync, and it's a Docker container. It's quite simple. So there's over here is the YAML for this. So you basically all you're going to do is set your primary Pi-hole, which is 10.5.5.1 in my particular setup, and the password to log in to the Pi-hole, and then the replica is 10.5.5.5. Now you could have more than one replica. You can add extra ones. I've only got 2 set up here, and again the password for that one. And then what it will do then is it'll do this as a cron job every hour. It will do this. If you change this 0 to a star, then it will do it every minute, but that's a little bit much. You're not changing things that often, I assume. So once an hour was enough for me. So going through that tutorial actually introduced me to a lot of stuff. You know, you got Nebula Sync, we've got our 2 Pi-holes, and the ability to have the IP addresses with Keepalived be able to switch across. So really quite a nice little setup. If you're running Pi-hole, definitely recommended as an upgrade to give you high availability. I may even consider adding a third and running 3 DHCP DNS servers, and have a primary and a secondary and a backup for if the primary or the secondary went down, it would kick in as the alternate. So just take a look at the description below where there's a link to the YouTube video, which I think does a great job of explaining how to actually go about getting this working. If you've got any questions or you run into any problems, then please don't hesitate to leave it in the comments below. Be happy to try and help you out. Do like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.